Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. The devil's work is almost done. Need support. I'm not really sure what I am looking for in posting this. Tomorrow is my mediation day and I'm a little numb and restless. I, 43 meters, have been married to my stbxw, 41F, for 19 years, together 25 years. We met in high school. I found out in October, the day before our 19th anniversary, she had at least an EA, but I also believe she also had a PA, but she would not admit it with the current guy. She said they only kissed. Yeah, right. She told me she loved him, he is married with 2 kids, and then she said I love you but I am not in love with you. But on the same day she admitted to a PA with a different man 12 years ago. The basics to the story is she pretended to try and work it out and eventually asked for a divorce. It's so much more messier than this and I may tell the whole story someday. I just don't have the energy tonight. She moved out in January and my girls, 10-yo and 15-yo, have lived with her at her parents' house and my son, 16-yo, lives with me. I see my girls often and try to talk to them every day. My son has become so much closer to me. I love them all so much and I hate that this has happened to them as well. Maybe I'm looking for encouraging words. Wisdom. I have prayed a lot about this and then again maybe not enough. I know she has at least told her family lies about me, but they also know some of the truth. It's weird to be a part of a family and then all of a sudden you are a stranger. Here is something I wrote to her last night, but I won't send it because I know it would mean nothing to her. The devil's work is almost done. I'm mad/sad that all 3 of our kids are in therapy. I'm mad/sad that you are the other woman. You have destroyed more than our marriage. Our kids are forever changed because of your actions. I worry how this will affect their future relationships. You have destroyed other families and that makes me sick. How and why would you choose to be the other woman? It's disgusting and I know you know it is wrong. You are one of the most selfish people I know. You didn't just make a one-time mistake. You choose to do this over and over and ever. After being confronted you choose evil. That relationship is from the devil. This could hurt your soul. You will never be able to be in a relationship where you are not an adulteress. As far as I know you are still with your affair partner. You both have started a relationship built on a lie. One of you will cheat on the other and if not I'm sure it will be miserable if you have a conscience. I know for a fact that he has already questioned what he has done and tried to go back to his wife. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of sexual immorality, makes her commit adultery, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Matthew 5:32. He said to them, because of your hardness of heart Moses allowed you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery. Matthew 19:8-9. You lied for so long it is hard to tell what was ever true. Is this who you were along and I didn't know it, or did you change? I do believe you did me a favor forcing the divorce. You made the statement that maybe you don't deserve me. Maybe that is true, but if you didn't force this I would have kept trying to love you and save our marriage. How do you not feel remorse or shame or guilt? How do you sleep at night knowing what evil you have done? You said at one point you were praying and talking to God, but if there is no change, is there really any sorrow or repentance? I know that is between you and God, but it is one more thing I don't understand. How do you sit in church and not feel guilt or shame? How did you sit with me and our family and not feel shame and guilt? You are not too far gone, you can still be saved. I don't mean we can have a relationship, especially now, but you can repent and return to God. I believe that would mean putting away that selfish person you have become. I have said in the past you are a good mother. I believe I lied to you. A good mother would not have done this to her family. You are a selfish person who just loves herself. Maybe you care about the children, but because of how it makes you look to the world. I know how much you care about your image. As for me, I have tried hating you, but it does no good. I really could have come after you, I mean your career. You always cared about that more, but I decided that time will take care of everything. I don't need to hurt you because you are broken. I'm sure there has to be a lot of pain to do the things you have done. In some ways I pity you. I'm saying my last goodbyes and releasing you. A good mother would not have done this to her family. The prosecution rests. Hi, just_brilliant. Hang on in there. Stay strong for you and your children. It's going to be a long, tough ride, but you will get through this, and so will your kids. I wouldn't bother sending what you have written. And, to be brutally honest, at this stage I wouldn't bother trying to appeal to her better nature. She is in the fog. She is oblivious to the pain and heartache she is causing others by her actions, and she feels justified in pursuing happiness in the bed of another man. Unfortunately, cheaters do it this way. Rather than call an end to one relationship before embarking on another, they prefer to sneak around and lie, instead of just calling it a draw in their marriage. At first, I tried to beg, plead and reason with my wife. She couldn't care less. The woman I married was a stranger to me, saying brutally hurtful things, lying to me, lying to others about me, all to make herself feel better and try to justify her actions to herself. Eventually I sought advice and help, and I performed the 180. I made myself less available, cared less about what she said or did. Well, I gave the appearance that I cared less. I basically stopped behaving like she was my wife, and more like she was a lodger in the house. I also didn't hide the fact that she was cheating. It wasn't my dirty secret to keep, and the shame wasn't mine to bear. And to be fair, she had been lying about me to all of her family and friends, so I stopped caring about her image. The 180 worked well, because over time I actually did start caring less, and did start making time for myself and caring for myself, and my wife's affair broke down. I like to think that I helped speed up that process by phoning her AP and telling him that he can have her. By this point I simply didn't care enough to worry about her. Personally, I think I took too long to seek help. I didn't know where to turn, and I was so ashamed and embarrassed and hurt. As a result of seeing the woman I loved treat me and my children so badly, I now have no time for love and romance. I have been left a very bitter old man and could never imagine giving my heart and soul to another person, as I have been to the bottom of a very dark place and the scars will never heal, and even now the pain is raw. In my long-winded ramble I am trying to say, look after yourself, make time for your children and remind them how special and precious they are. Spend time with friends and try to learn to laugh again and be thankful. Please don't be too ashamed to seek help, and please don't lose touch with the good things in life. There are so many amazing and wonderful experiences out there. Kind regards. Thank you, Bansawmill. Cool name. I'm sorry you went through this too. I did the same thing this time. I did the pick me dance. I tried to reason with her. I called the AP and told him to back off and has her delete him from everything. I set up MC and IC. Looking back, was I dumb, or at least I feel that way. I know I can sleep with a clear conscience at night. Thank you for your kind words. Maybe with time and healing you can find love again. I do have one friend who went through this and he was done with women. We started hanging out and the right woman under his conditions came along. It took 5 years to get there, but he is happy. I wish you the best. I've found that if I ever truly know why, I'll be too far gone down the rabbit hole to return. What helped me is to accept the following. They got tired of pretending. It had nothing to do with me. Really, the reason or excuse doesn't matter anymore. Good thoughts. You have children that are easily influenced. Never ever let her set the narrative with what has happened. All of them are old enough to know exactly what has gone down and why. This could have terrible ramifications for you in the future. Tell everyone everything. I worry that is what has happened with my girls. I don't think it's just her at this point either. Her sister has been nuts and her dad has tried to buy off my son. Who knows what my girls have been told? It's like they have been instructed to not say anything. I hope that's not the case, but I feel like I know better. Did you inform OM's wife about the affair? Yes, I reached out to her. We have talked twice and she is a very nice lady. I apologized for what my WS did to her family and she did too. She also started her divorce. He tried going back at one point but she shut it down. I feel like she is handling this better. Good for you. You did the right thing. Reading between the lines, is your ex and her AP working together? If so, you need to report them to their HR department. It's the right thing to do. I speak from experience. I sleep good at night. You will too. If you're not a cheater, it's hard to figure out the mental gymnastics it takes to justify it. Most marriages are dead in the water before the cheat. Too bad more don't use that option. What is crazy to me, and you are right, I didn't see it coming. Everything was the same right up to the moment of me confronting her. She made a comment months earlier but I never thought she was cheating. Yeah, don't send that letter to your cheating wife. Quotes from the Bible mean nothing to adulterers. Protect yourself in the divorce proceedings. Follow your lawyer's advice. DNA test your children. They are your kids in the eyes of the law, but proof of paternity fraud may help you in the divorce. Has custody been finalized? Is she poisoning your relationship with your daughters? Good luck. All the children are mine. I believe her and her whole family are poisoning my girls. No offense, but unless you did DNA tests on all the kids, then you have zero reasons to be certain they are yours. She even admitted to a PA within the time frame that you had your girls. Wake up quick. I didn't, they are all mine. Great. I am genuinely happy for you. Wow, I feel your pain. I discovered my WS affair 5 months ago. We are still working on the relationship, but I'm not sure we will make it through. I'm afraid I have no wisdom at this point, but know that you are not alone. You are keeping the connection with your children and that is great. The church is a strong part of our marriage too, and I relate to the questions you have of how a person can have an affair and still sit in church with her family each week. My wife's affair lasted 2.5 years and I saw her withdraw from parts of church bit by bit and still never realized what was happening. I wish you luck through this. I'm sorry this is happening to you too. If you can work it out, that is good for you. You already know it will be a long, hard road. I wish you the best and will send up prayers for you and your family. Tell the AP's betrayed spouse. It's the right thing to do. We have talked. She is divorcing him too. I have read a lot here, and a lot of people have posted letters they either actually sent or wanted to or just to vent, and I almost always think the letters are horrible. But I really like your letter. I do think you encapsulated many aspects in the cheating/affairs, specific enough to your situation and general enough for others. I do think a lot of points you wrote could be very painful for her to read, especially if she believes in her faith. Which probably means she would slough it off and think that it had nothing to do with her, and that you missed the whole point of how bad you have been and how you caused it all. Cheaters see things differently. Thank you for your insight. I imagine she has to tell her something to sleep at night. I believe at some point cheaters believe the lies they tell. Crazy day, but the divorce is final. Rant. Last week my ex-wife, her dad showed up too, and I worked out a settlement agreement in mediation. It took all day but we got it done. Basically, since we all agreed it's over, only one party has to prove it up to the judge. I was nice that day and let the girls stay with her because she had family that came into town. We switched days, trying to extend the olive branch. I believe she has messaged me every day since then for some reason. I ignored most of it because it wasn't about the kids. Thursday night my mom took a fall and broke her hip and leg. My poor mom is a saint too. She has dedicated her life to her family and especially my older sister who is mentally handicapped. Friday was prove-up day and I have more than the divorce on my mind. It goes quickly with me and my lawyer as the only ones to attend. Remember, we have already agreed on everything, so this is basic info for the courts to accept what everyone has signed and agreed. I got my girls because this is my day. I get back for last week's exchange date. My ex-wife is messaging me about something and I replied in a snarky way of congratulations on getting the divorce you wanted. She cheated on me. She messaged back and said she hasn't seen any paperwork, so hold off. I told her I went before the judge today, so as of June 11th, 2021 we are divorced. Her messaging stops. I don't know why, because I thought she would be happy because this is what she wanted. I go to cook dinner with my middle child and I get a call from my ex-father-in-law asking me to come out and talk to him. We haven't spoken in weeks. I see him at my kids' games and when I pick up and drop off the kids, but we don't speak. He just stares at me. I just assume he has been lied to and is going to believe whatever his daughter tells him. I got my old phone and turned the recorder on because this isn't normal. I walked out and he was sitting in my driveway in his truck. I walked around to the driver's side and he didn't get out. He just has his window rolled down. He said, "How do you go before the judge without her?" I said, "David, this isn't about you. He was there last week under my protest too. I didn't marry you and I'm not divorcing you, so I'm not having this conversation with you. I should have gone inside at this point. If she wants to talk, I'll do it with her, but stay out of this." He said, "You will tell me." I pointed my finger at him to make my point that much cleaner and he swatted at me and he said, "Don't you point at me. It's my house and I'll point wherever I want." I know this is a dumb argument. I told him his daughter is an adulterous woman who has been sleeping with a married man. He called me a liar. I said she has slept with more than one married man and destroyed families. He acted surprised at first and then asked how I would know. I said, "I've seen the bills and records. Plus I talked to the cheater's ex-wife." He goes to the point that he doesn't care about cheating. Says I spent all the money. She got thousands of dollars just today, and he would have cheated if he had to live with me. He said he knows everything. I said, "I guess not if you don't know about her having affairs with married men. His other two daughters have done the same." I asked how it felt raising three adulterers. That his enabling is part of the problem. What would his own dad think? His dad was a very righteous man. He raised Beep. Okay, I was really mad, but maybe I crossed a line. He reaches out and punched me in the arm. I defend myself and hit back. I tell him to stop. I don't want to fight this old man. He starts yelling about the judge again. I explained the process and he is still mad, saying their attorney didn't tell them anything. Not my fault. He starts saying I'm crazy and my son, his grandson, will be just like me. I said he will be a good man and I hope he doesn't marry a Beep. He backs out and keeps saying this isn't over. He revs his engine and I think he is about to run over me. I move near our solid in-ground basketball goal. I don't know how much this will stop, but it's all I had. Thank goodness he finally leaves. I called the cops and they take a report, but I decided not to press charges right now. I have 2 years to act on it. The police went and spoke to my ex and her sister. She is crazy too. She could be her own post. Her dad happened to not be home at the time. The sister actually came to my house while I was talking to the police. I finally came back inside and my girls are waiting on me. I had to fill them in a little because I believe one of them saw the police. It was almost 10, so they decided to go to bed. Kinda sad way to end the day. Gave hugs and told them I love them and I will keep them safe. I'm not sure what this is not over really means, but I guess he, ex-father-in-law, has something planned. Who knows what he is thinking. Hope this craziness makes sense. I'll keep hoping things will get better from here. The "this is not over" part would be why I would have pressed charges. Immediate boundary. Exactly my thoughts, too. You don't play around with threats. Plus I would be investing in some fine personal defense hardware and get a CCW ASAP. Don't take semi-veiled threats lightly. Exactly the same happened to me. I offered them a coffee and a chat and I thought we had thrashed out everything and only realized it was just a ploy because they wanted to know how I wanted to play out so they could come up with their own dirty tricks. The judge threw the book at them with their unreasonable request and decided to go with what I had offered. As long as you are being fair, you don't have to worry. I would press the charges. That whole family sounds unstable, so I would press them. Oh, your comment is so dead on. Each of her family members has made a run at me in one way or another. Like I said about the ex-sister-in-law, she could have her own post. Get the restraining order. Who knows what this nut will do? A restraining order only notifies the courts and officers. I agree that he should get one. It doesn't actually protect anyone, however. That's up to you. Agreed. Also, the op can use the RO for leverage. It's a major factor in determining custody and visitation. I just found out my abnormal childhood was due to a schizoaffective woman who refused to get meds. Get the restraining order. Keep these guys away from the kids. All of those things show character, so I've got no problem making reports about legitimate threats. This sounds suspiciously threatening, at best, malicious/deadly at worst. And I agree. Do everything in your power to remove them and yourself from the situation before it escalates. Get to RO. You're exactly right in that this issue is none of his business. His daughter is an adult human. If you had a shoving match with her father, dude, please go no contact. You've already removed them from your life and, with the exception of your kids, there is no reason whatsoever to have conversation with any of them. If they're on the street, walk past them as if you don't know them. Why step in S when you step around it? Man, you have the recording. Is making a police report. Consider pressing charges. Main point is, at least there a report file. Doesn't depend on this righteous man to do right all the time. Let the cop do their job. You have 3 kids depending on you. Okay. Take care, be safe. Press charges. He has a vendetta against you, and the man is irrational. If you want to play peacemaker, you could reach out to your ex and have her keep her dad in control. But given the context, I doubt it'd do much. Press charges, and cover your back. Her sister came at me too, and I talked to my ex. And that did stop for a while. Every time something happens, my ex acts like she didn't know about it till it was over or she was against it. She's a liar. I say you need to think of your kids first and protect yourself and them by doing whatever in your power, like pressing charges, etc. They may try to poison your kids against you, so be careful about that, too. Press charges and file a restraining order ASAP. It helps give you cause in the future to file for full custody based on an endangering environment. Your kids being around their grandfather, 1, and if you have proof of her infidelities, then 2, you can explain you're worried who their mother brings them around like the random men. Also get a restraining order against ex's sister, since she likes to just show up to start shit too. You have to let them know they can't up with you and be part of your life anymore or push you around. People like that want their voice to matter. Show them it doesn't, and they'll be arrested if they try. The more legal route you take, the more ammo you have in the future. What a crazy family op got to mess with. Be safe, man. Good luck in this new phase. The father will always take the daughter's side even when they duck up. Only the good ones will disown their daughter when they find out when they've cheated. My ex's father would have liked that too, always on her side regardless of anything. I disagree that the good ones condemn and punish the bad behavior while still loving the daughter. The great ones will either stay out of it completely or make sure they know the truth from both sides before making a decision. Where they stand. I know, right? We all know about wonder why daughter never cut contracts with father over the cheating. My STBX is having all kinds of issues with her father. He lived with us during her affair and he saw things firsthand. He and her brother, also living with us at that time, kicked her lover out of our house. Since then she barely talks to her family. She keeps insisting the phone works both ways. It happens, sometimes. Her family still adores me, and not just for the grandkids. Well, so what happened to her lover? Did he bail out or just move to another town? She's been living with him since her father and brother evicted him. See, what had happened is she was spending much of the time between October and December helping him deal with his own divorce, and also to work on herself. After the end of the year she said he still needs support. Could he please stay in our guest bedroom? Throughout all of this I was a weepy mess and finally had an emotional breakdown in mid-January. When I went to the hospital, her family evicted her lover and she packed up our children and left with him. We've been separated ever since. About a week and a half after I got out of rehab, she let me take the kids for a few days and we've been co-parenting ever since. I've actually had the kids in our family home pretty much full time for 2 to 3 months now. So I have possession of the home and custody of the kids. In mid-March we got her a new phone and she left the old one home. I went through it, because my fingerprint was still registered. The texts detailed an affair going from at least mid-December to the present. Everything was a lie. I retained a lawyer and by the next week, kept the divorce hush-hush until I finally confronted her and laid down an ultimatum. She chose me but wanted another month before starting to reconcile, to which I said no, I'm divorcing you, you made your choice and it isn't me, goodbye. Anyway, they're staying at his parents' house now. Not sure of the state of their relationship, but she's got a rental lined up. Again, not sure if her lover will be living with her or if their romance has soured. I had her served at his parents in front of them all. Couldn't have been pleasant and I'm not sure what she's told them beyond what was in the texts. So did her lover wife knew it and decide to be blindside on this? Damn, your ex-wife really destroy families apart. No, he and his ex were at the end of a 3-year-long divorce. He was technically single, as his wife was already seeing someone new, probably someone she cheated on him with, I don't know and don't care. He knew she and I were married though, because he was a neighbor at a townhouse we rented until we closed on our new home, the home I'm in right this second. The home I'm keeping in our divorce. Wait, what? He was a homewrecker the whole time, not your ex-wife? Why, your ex-wife didn't stop him and tell him she was married instead of letting have sex with him? She should have broke the things off. I don't know for sure. The number one reason is she wanted to. That's the only reason that matters. Every cheater wanted it. She was dealing with mental health issues, bad medication, and untreated PPD from our last child. The medications she was prescribed were strongly counter-indicated for women her age with her diagnoses. We have no idea why she was given these medications, but it nearly destroyed her. But, again, in the end she chose to do it, day in and day out. I've dealt with mental illness my whole life but never so much as chatted up another woman. Mental illness is never an excuse. But I can sympathize. At least as far as the betrayal trauma will allow. I have days when I hate her guts. If we didn't have kids together I would have put her on the curb in front of our house with all her shit. If I were feeling generous, I might have bought her a bus ticket to the border of her home state. If I were really generous, the bus ticket would take her all the way to her home city. But most likely I would have just severed completely. Well, God, they deserve each other and good riddance to your ex-wife. Maybe you live a better life without her. Another generalization that is not true. A good father will never disown a child. A good father will call them out on their bullshit behavior and try to help them be a better person. A good father will always appear to side with their child, and then give them shit for their actions, out of the public eye, to again try to help them become a better person. You, my friend, will never be a good father as long as you believe this is the right way to treat a child you helped create and raise. From a father of 4, 33F, 32F, 28 meters, 22 meters. A good father won't side with their child publicly on something as heinous as cheating on their own husband/wife. Obviously they wouldn't disown their kid, but it's absurd to think that unconditional love requires a compromise on a parent's own values. I think the ones that need to be disowned are the ones that destroy lives. There's people who cheat but are apologetic or maybe sorry for their actions. It also depends on what their cheating action did or cause. But the ones who lied about their cheating, that includes lying about abuse, making excuses about the cheating, vilifying the spouse, turning their kids against the spouse for no reason. Those people don't deserve that love. Just to keep it in perspective, that accounts for 90% of cheaters, really. It's a rare cheater that openly admits their transgression, is truly repentant, is actually honest and truthful about everything, and honestly works to try to make things right. Lies, manipulations, gaslighting, downplaying, justifying, excusing, and even continuing to cheat are far more common responses from cheaters who get caught. It's actually absurd to think that truly unconditional love actually exists. You sir sounds like an enabler. When people do wrong, yes, they need to be corrected, but sometimes people do so much wrong they don't deserve a second chance. I don't know if any of your children ever grew up to be pieces of S. But if you're enabling their behavior, then they wonder why they probably went the way they did. I hope your kids are good kids, but just be glad that none of your kid ever grew up to be pieces of S or R1s. If you read my statement, I never said good fathers. I said good ones. So you're telling me you're going to help and guide the daughter for her own selfish reasons who cheated and destroyed her family to duck over his son-in-law. That probably was like another son to you, but yet you're going to help your daughter screw over that guy because it's the right thing to do. Then if you're like my ex-father-in-law, you're piece of S human beings like him. Press charges, or you would be charged instead if you're not able to control yourself and beat him to pulp when he engages you. Time to get a protection order to protect yourself and the kids. No messing around, because the father isn't done and you need to send a message back to the family that you will not be taking for a mug. I felt sorry for you, man. Hope everything goes well. And keep updating, mate. Oh no. Sounds like Daddy Outlaw. He's trying to fix things for his daughter. I'm glad you stood your ground. She brought all this onto you. Can't he see that? You are not the guilty party, she is. I don't think he will bother you again. I'm not home anyway. Just steer clear of him now. You don't have to deal with him anymore. Just spend your time with your kids. And enjoy them. She needs to wake up your ex. Or is she just gonna be a mattress for every married man out there? Anyway, I wish you all the best. I hope one day you find a lady you deserve 20. You made me laugh with your Daddy Outlaw comment. Thanks for the support. Or you're very welcome. Keep us posted with future updates. 20. This is not over. No, it's not, enabler of adultery. Here, take these charges and run along home. Edit, I would be installing cameras inside and out, if you don't have them already. Big windshield, small rear view mirror. I wish you peace and happiness, my friend. My dad just said this to me this week. Good advice. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.